Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to Through the Keyhole. This is a series where we take a look at a few player camps in Fallout 76, get a few ideas and a little bit of inspiration for our own builds. So, let's jump in and take a look, shall we? Okay, so before we get stuck in, the usual couple of orders of business. First and foremost, these are not my camps, with the exception of this one here. These are just a couple of camps that I found via the player vending system. Thought were absolutely brilliant, deserved a little bit of love. And secondly, should you want to appear in a future episode of the series yourselves, if you head over to the channel's community page, you'll find a post on there with all the details of how you can send your camps in for a future video. Please do make sure you're following those instructions carefully. They're not perfect, but it is necessary to go through this system, so I look forward to seeing what you guys have got. So, with that covered, camp number 1. So, this is an interesting little build I found just near the Wayward. We're literally just across the way from here, which is quite a popular place to build. In fact, both of these camps today are very close to the Wayward. This one is quite small and compact, but I really like what's been done with this place. There's some distinctively familiar fingerprints to those who are fans of no respawns on this one. There's some techniques here that he has championed on numerous occasions, so very, very cool stuff here. Really break up the textures to the outer wall of the camp. Looks nice and scrappy, really interesting and unique here, with the layering up of the double-sided junk fences, the reverse junk fences rather, and the encampment walls up against the walls there as well, just to break up those textures a little bit, give it a little bit more character and uniqueness, which is always really cool. As we move back around to the front, see a whole load more textures are coming in here. We've got some guard posts out front, covering that main entrance. Looks very, very cool. Right by the river here. Gives you a nice access to the water for power and both for drinking water as well, which is cool. Let's head on inside. Close the gate behind, gotta be polite. And with both of these camps, decoration, as I am so fond of pointing out, is really what makes it. Although with this one, also the structure is very cool as well. So you see loads and loads of detail in this little crafting and bar area here, just on the side of the main structure. Nice little stack of stash boxes in the middle there, giving it a little bit of something to break up that big open space. Not totally sold on Beckett's outfit, I have to admit, but it's a really cool little space there. Come around the corner, we've got another good combination of mixed textures. We've got some walls backing onto each other, which is cool. And we've also got the contemporary porches on here as well, which add a little bit of a reef. And all closed up with the junk fences as well, really breaking up and adding a little variety there to the textures. Down onto the bridges, we've got sticking out into the river here, we've got access to both the generators and the water purifiers, which is always cool. Again, different pieces, different textures and stuff. I might not have gone with the Fashion Act poles there, so they just kind of catch on your head a tiny little bit. Don't stop you moving around, but it's a bit closed in for my taste. But not my camp, so they can do whatever they like. But it looks very, very cool nonetheless. Let's swing back around. I really like this central structure. This is another thing that makes me wonder if this person might be a no response fan, because a cage build around the generator there. But it looks really cool, and they've taken that concept and expanded on it, which is great. Down to the little player vending area. Each one's got its own little kind of shop front going on there, with an enclosed space, all with unique decorations. Nice little area to chill out. Even the carpets work well here and give a lot of splashes of colour and different textures and separate areas quite nicely, giving you absolutely tons to look at, which I really, really like. So we'll push up onto this area here. We've got a little bit of a farm area. Pretty compact, but squeezed quite a few crops in here. Lots of little splashes of decoration there. Lots of little things breaking up the space, making it nice and creative. Very nice bit of colour as well. Not vast amounts of crops, but it's a small space and it's squeezed everything in quite nicely, working with the space that is available, which is really cool. So we'll duck under the stairs a moment before we head up. Cage lights on the top there, looking good. So I'll say symptomatic. Kind of obligatory these days. Yeah, reverse view there on Beckett's bar and the crafting space, which is really nice. Kind of combines everything into a cool little space there. Just take a little swing around, have a look upstairs. Got a nice bit of support with the posts there on the corner. Clearly use the staircase and upper floor approach to get those to snap on, and it looks absolutely brilliant. Tons of decoration squeezed in there as well, which is cool. Yet more on the tables and the surfaces in the player home, player bedroom perhaps. Again, nice little space, got some stash boxes, got some bedside cabinets, looking good. Lots of stuff on the walls, mixture of textures as well. You can't really tell from the outside that they've used the new log cabin pieces either, which is interesting. It's kind of hard to spot, but they do look very, very cool, and add yet another set of textures, which keeps things fresh, keeps it interesting. And works surprisingly well with the redwood floors there as well, the sort of parquet flooring, which is also cool. And using the rubber mat on the bottom there to sort of break up that plain floor texture as well, which is also cool. Coming back downstairs. Carpet's getting a little wet now, which is a tad unfortunate. But it's clearly not going to be an issue. And back out round to the front gate. So yeah, a really compact little camp this one, but lots and lots of detail packed in. Really cool. I like the way you move around that central structure. I like the player home on the top that's kind of concealed behind the jail bars, but also kind of visible now that I know it's there. It's a really good use of space, really creative individual areas for different things. It's a very, very cool build. So, camp number 2 is just up the road on the other side of the Wayward, just sort of tucked on the end of the hill here. This is very, very different. It's also the final camp we're going to show, because this place is huge, particularly when you include the shelters, and we kind of have to because they're absolutely awesome. So we've got to come up the slope a bit. You can just see the Wayward in the corner there. And this is primarily the player vending structure out front, but there's absolutely tons of decoration and detail here, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So basically what we've got is a big square made with the contemporary porches, which looks really, really cool. You can see we've got the gaps here with all the player vending in. Lots and lots of little bits of detail. Things stuck on the vendors, things on the floor around it, just to break things up, make it look more interesting and visually appealing. Not sure about the Blue Brahmin, admittedly, but nonetheless, a talking point, shall we say. Lots and lots of stuff on display, looking very, very cool out here. Plants and more display cases, just to break things up. Got the crafting area out back we'll take a look at in just a moment. And as we can see, entrance to the shelters there on the back of the build. We'll take a little swing around and have a look down here first. See the entrance to the utility room there. They've managed to clip the foundations here through, but it looks quite nice. It's really nicely done. A little hatch in the floor is quite a cool look. Might have to give it a go myself at some point. Lots more detail on this side, plenty going on, just to give it life, give it some character, and it looks really, really cool. Sunset certainly makes it look good as well. Good time of day for this. So, stick our nose behind the vendors here. Not quite as much going on in here, but this is supposed to be kind of behind the scenes, so it does make sense. I'm honestly surprised they didn't lock that door. Kind of glad they didn't. We get to have a look around here, but I am a little surprised. So, not vast amounts, but we've got plenty of decoration and detail nonetheless. I do like the way the back of the vendors here kind of form a wall. It's very different to look at and unique. It's quite cool. It's a different sort of a vibe that I like a lot. Let's have a little look around this vending area, this crafting area, sorry, which is quite cool. Nice use of the astroturf here. Sometimes it can stick out a bit, that particular texture, but it works quite well on this one, so that's cool. Got the glass dome here at the back with Solomon hanging out. Plenty of decoration, tons of stuff in here. All the crafting benches tucked in, using the space, placing stuff in the middle as well to break up what would otherwise be a big open spaces. Kind of a good way of going. A couple of things that I'm surprised to see work as well as they do, which is always cool, is the skin rugs. I've never been a big fan personally, but in this case, particularly the colour contrast with that pink one, the sloth rug there, looks really good on the green. So I like it a lot. But inside shelter number 1 of 3, which is why this is such a long section of the video, is the atrium. And this place is really, really cool. I've said before, I find it really hard to figure out what on earth to do with this space because it's so large. It's coupled with its already unique design, distinct design rather, it can be hard to pull something off. But this is done nicely. I really like this big set piece as well. See, one of the advantages to a big space like this is you can put that fountain in there as a set piece and it doesn't look out of place, which is cool. And the lamps look really good on it as well. Down the bottom here, we've got some little sections of office space, I suppose. Kind of entrances to the other shelters as well, which is cool. A little bit of decoration and detail. Reflections on the floor look gorgeous in here, which is really cool. You can see they've used the walls to close off the sort of outside area. One of the things that's always bugged me about the shelters is there's a little area around the outside that you really can't build on very easily. You can do it, but it's not particularly conducive to that. But they've managed to make this space quite cool as well by snapping some walls in here and putting a door in, and even dropped some decoration behind the scenes here, which is very, very cool. It sort of looks like they're using it as a storage space for junk, particularly down in this corner, which is a good idea, good use of the space. Just shove that stuff in the crawl space behind the walls. in the absence of an attic, it kind of works well, that. I do like the use of the Brotherhood of Steel doors here that I'm guessing are sort of, for want of a better word, glitched in, but they do work very, very well. So you can just put the type of door that does work and then swap them out, and it looks pretty cool. Definitely different, which is always nice to see. Again, they struggling a little bit with the same thing I think most people do with the atrium, is it's such a big open space. It does leave a lot of negative space in it, but nonetheless, the colours and all the buildings and that sort of thing do draw the eye away from that space, so that kind of makes up for it, I suppose, which looks really cool. Coming on upstairs, there's a couple of things up here I do very much like as well, right the way through this place, in fact. Like the clock looks good on there. Those two spinning wheels above this bar area, which is put together from sort of, well, bar pieces, basically. It looks very, very cool. Those spinning wheels often look odd. I've always wondered why on earth those are included in the building menu, but they found a really good place to put them here that they don't look out of place, which is very cool. A few bits and pieces of decoration around in this kind of bar area. Some tables, nice little foosball table, always good. Got the Blood Eagles totem hanging on the wall there, which also looks down on the rest of the place and looks cool. And over the sort of space below, we have a few more separated rooms, again using the glass walls. These were in Season 2 at the end of the Armour Ace scoreboard. We've got some bedrooms down this side. It's a kind of, not quite a motel vibe, but more of a dormitory vibe, I suppose, to that, which is quite cool. Lots of little bits of decoration in there as well, lots of plushies, that sort of thing, very cool. And a little chill-out space as well, which is nice to see. And changing up the types of floor and the floor textures and separating things out with those that you can see here really creates some differentiation between different areas of a relatively open build. So it's quite a good way of doing it, sort of mentally separating out areas by using different floors. It's quite cool. Good thinking there. Lighting looks good on this side as well. Splashes of colour around, do like to see that. So we'll head on into the back corridor, which is actually my favourite part of this space. The shelter itself, I mean, as opposed to the build. Though it's a very cool part of the build too. I really like the lighting and the change of tone and colour in here. As we head on up, we see this otherwise awkward place to use, it being a corridor. It's been turned into a kind of brig, which is cool. Kind of a pity those walls don't reach the ceiling, but what can we do? Bit of a problem with some of the shelters that things just don't quite mesh up with the building stuff we have available. But it does look very cool, a nice little brig area. Simple and effective. Pretty much the definition of a brig, really. And I really like what they've done in the Overseer's office here. This is very, very cool. Kind of use this glass dome here to create a kind of snow globe. You can see at the back there in the corners they've got two of the snow machines. Give you that kind of feeling inside a giant snow globe, which is cool. Little bits of decoration on the shelves. Good work down there. Bit of rug glitching there for that middle one, clearly. But, that works nicely too. Yeah, looking nice. We've got the rubber mats breaking up the floor textures as well, which is cool. I'm not sure they quite work in this space, but the thought process is cool. But that's the atrium covered. Let's take a look at the lobby next. So here we go. Loaded in. Lots and lots of detail in here. More of a scrappy vibe in here. More of an almost raidery vibe, which is cool. Mixing up things. Changed up the tone. Loads more of these jailhouse walls, which is interesting. I'm starting to think there's something going on here, though. Somebody's very keen on locking people up, apparently. Lots and lots of stash boxes just to break up space. Looking good in here. Very, very cool. I like that they've piled them on top of the sort of farmable object there. I don't know what to call that. Planter, I suppose, with the truck bed over there. And then using the Fusion Flea stash box next to it as well keeps that kind of mechanical sort of vibe with, you know, car pieces and all that sort of thing. See, the power armor station just looks like it's designed for lifting engines out. I really like the use of the posts here in the top section as well to divide it off. They've kind of put them on a bit of an angle, which you can't really do in a regular camp. You have to be in the shelters. That looks really cool. A little different, kind of got that cool modern vibe. Like the generators up on a shelf as well. That's another thing you need to be in the shelters for, but it does look cool when it gets them out of the way, which is nice. Lots and lots of different surfaces, lots and lots of different textures here. Got a nice view out towards the entrance from the cooking station there, which is cool. Using those fire pits either side of it really accentuate the cooking station as well, which is cool. Lots and lots of different textures on the floor here. Things mixing and matching on the walls as well, really breaking it up. hiding that vault vibe and making it feel more like something a bit more organic, really, which is cool. Kind of giving it a bit more unique vibe. Lots of stuff and decoration around the crafting area in here. All the benches, everything you need, which is always good. I like the condemned signs as well. They kind of work in a build like this particularly well, which is cool. And we'll head through the curtain doorway onto this walkway over the top here. Nice little view out. Very technical kind of a vibe to this place in places as well. The machinery under the stairs as well sort of incorporated into the style of the build, which is cool. Even this back little area tucked out of the site's got loads more detail, much as we saw with the other shelter as well, which is really cool to see. Very, very nice. I like it a lot. We'll swing back around. They've built a kind of new room inside the back room here, and to conceal that, they've tucked a couple of paintings back, sort of in reverse on over the windows to create kind of different scenes in there, which is a really cool idea. I like that a lot. Looks cool and unique, and kind of hides the back of these walls, which is cool. And again, we've got the Brotherhood round table in here. Lots and lots of decoration. Area to chill out, sit, have meetings, that sort of thing. Looks very cool. Lots and lots of machinery at the back here. The terminals. Guess there's some electronic surveillance going on here or something like that. Despite the fact that these walls, again, don't quite meet with the ceiling, the build quite nicely pulls your eye down, which conceals it, which is cool. So, nicely done there. Again, a shortcoming of the shelters more than anything else, I would say there. Players having a little run around here. We'll go up to the upper level, right by the ceiling. It's really making use of the verticality of this space, which is cool. And we've got a kind of bedroom again. So as we said with the other shelter, we've got different areas sort of divided up by changing the flooring, which is cool, rather than using walls. So, nice different approach. It kind of allows for an open space that doesn't feel too closed off, which is cool. And use of stuff on the walls as well, just to kind of to mark each bed area off as individual, which is cool. Lots of good stuff going on up here. Quite large and open, but as I say, there's just enough going on to make it work. I do like the sort of musical area facing the stuff at the back there, lining up the organ and the piano. Looks good. And we'll head on downstairs again as we make our way back around. So tons and tons of detail in here. Just putting things at different angles, mixing and matching textures. Generally making things a little more creative, a little different to look at, and really changing up the feeling of this otherwise vault-like space. Same with the floors as well, kind of concealing the vault floor. Looks good. Bit unfortunate on the texture flickering there, but that's Fallout. Not much we can do. So, last but not least, we have the Vault Utility Room. And this is a very, very striking entrance. I do like this a lot. Lots of decoration, using the fashion extremists there to kind of draw the eye towards that central piece with the Hero of the Waste statue. And the Friends Welcome sign looking good on the front there as well. A few Brotherhood decorations as well. These are from the pack that you could buy via the Atomic Shop for way too much, but they do look good, some of the pieces in here, even if the pack is perhaps a little overpriced. There's a few things that I really like in this space as well. I like the use of the black flooring, because this place has a tendency to be quite dark and dim anyway. You have the black flooring coupled with the sort of orange lights, it gives it a really kind of slick, clean look. I like it a lot. Really nice style, that. Good use of a ton of details and decoration, really look cool. Break up those otherwise very bland vault walls, so makes this place look really, really good, really, really complete. That shelf, it looks absolutely fantastic. I must have taken some time to get all of that stuff positioned on it. Much more viable option in shelters than it is in regular camps, but it looks really, really cool. And we have another jail space at the back. I'm starting to recognise a theme here. We've got a Brotherhood prison camp going on here. But, yeah, definitely some questions that need to be asked there. But it does look very, very cool. Makes for a really nice space. Again, we've got some tons of detail here. Kind of combining desks and shelving, and the terminals there all together look really good, and they blend together really nicely as well, which is cool. These plants, I wasn't sure about them in the Atomic Shop personally, but they made good use of them, and the shininess of the leaves works with the shininess of the floor as well, which is cool. The lighting in here puts some really nice little splashes of colour around as well, which I also like. Just little highlights and accents that look really, really great. A combination of Brotherhood and Free States there. Use of a chain door there, that looks quite cool. Different way to close up that entranceway. I prefer the look of this door when it's open to when it's closed. Not sure about using that over that particular doorway, I have to admit, but All in all, an incredibly detailed, extensive camp build here that looks absolutely fantastic. I actually saw another camp by this individual who had, again, 3 shelters in a different camp that also looked fantastic, though I didn't get those recorded, unfortunately. But some really, really cool building work on this person's part. So, just 2 camps today, but looking absolutely fantastic. So, great work on the part of the 2 builders there. Really, really cool stuff. And I do hope all of you found some interesting inspiration and some ideas here and got a bit of a theme. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider dropping likes and subs for me. It's always humongously appreciated. Social media links, the merch store, and channel memberships are all available down below the video if you're interested in supporting the channel in that way. It is massively appreciated and hugely helps out. And if you get a chance, do join us for some live streams as well. We are plodding on with Cyberpunk, coming towards the end game now. And of course, playing a ton of Fallout and going through the game loop and having a lot of fun with that at the moment. So I do hope you join us for those streams as well. For now, I will say a massive thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.